Okay, what you see here are two different basses. This is what you call an upright. Or stand-up bass. Or bass fiddle. And this is a bass guitar. They're not quite tuned to each other, but here's what the differences are. An upright bass is strictly all acoustic. Doesn't have any frets like a bass guitar, and the scale length is around 42 inches to 44 inches of scale length. A bass guitar, it is only 34 scale. So it has about between 10, 12 less inches, and it's more portable, and the sound's completely different. So I'm going to stick my bow. Okay. First I got to hold the bow right. That's what an upright bass sounds like. Well, if you want to plug it, now I'm going to play the same line. Here, so goes and this particular bass, what they call a jazz bass. You got your neck pickup, you got your bridge pickup, you got a volume, and I think this is a balance, and that's a tone control. And there's nothing acoustic about it. And the first bass guitar that Leo Fender came out with was the P bass, and I believe that was in the year 1951. Was the first bass guitar. There was other companies that experimented with an electric bass, like the company Hofner, no, Rickenbacker, it was Rickenbacker, and Dynalectro. And a string bass, sometimes they refer to as a bass viol or the bow fiddle or a couple other names. But I prefer to call it the upright bass or the string bass. Like I said, an upright bass does not have any frets, and the strings are raised up about that much, so you can use the bow. That was the main purpose, having the the strings going up and then hits the bridge and then goes down to the tailpiece. And the double bass has a sounding post from the bottom part of the bridge on towards the G strings side, and it's got a brace over here on the low E string side. But the tuning pegs are very similar to a bass guitar. But the strings are not quite made the same. On a bass guitar string, you got one single core, solid wire, and then it has two sets of wrappings going around the single wire on a bass guitar string. But on an upright bass string, it actually has three cores. They use three separate solid core wire, and they twist them together. And then it has winding around that, like a regular set of bass guitar strings are between $25 to $40 at max. But on the other hand, well, I'm going to get a set of strings that I bought for this particular bass. response of my upright bass strings and these bass strings cost me $250 for just a plain heavy tension 4-string bass set. They're made by D'Addario. They're called D'Addario's Kaplan heavy tension upright bass strings. And and they use, like I said, 3 solid core wires to make the inner core of the string. That's why they cost so much. You can buy light, medium, or heavy tension. Also, you can buy upright bass strings made out of gut, synthetic core, or I prefer metal like these. I don't like the feel of gut strings, and they're hard to hear. And for bass guitar strings, I like to use 2 different types. I like to use round because it sounds more like a piano string, a piano bass string. But I also like the flat round, like we see on the upright. To give a more clear sound, the round is clearer, but the flat round gives you more of an old style bass sound. That's kind of the difference between the string material, but they're still made out of metal. But the string spacing on an upright bass is much wider. And it's almost twice the tension than a bass guitar. Maybe a little under half. These are almost about 300 pounds of pressure, and a bass guitar is about, I would say, around about 200 pounds, maybe 180. So that's the differences of an upright bass and a bass guitar.